So anyways, we almost have our first kid in an Uber, and despite that, our second baby was born in the lobby of our apartment building. And guys, I know you're judging me right now. Like, how could you have your baby born in the lobby of your apartment building after what happened last time? But we were on our toes based on what had happened last time. And once again, the contraction started. We didn't wait a second. We didn't even call the doctor. We went downstairs into our lobby and we started walking out to the car. And all of a sudden at the door, my wife stopped and turned to me and said, "The baby is here." Subtle, nuanced. From the people who brought you, I do not like this. The baby is here. And so once again, I go to my old standby of mansplaining. Which, if you ladies forgot, is when a man uses no shared experience and says to his wife, "The baby is not here." You only think the baby is here. We have more than enough time to make it to the hospital. Take it from me, a man who has also had a baby out of his vagina. And my wife looks back at me and says, "The baby is here." And I look down, and the only way to describe what I saw, it looked like my wife was trying to smuggle a baby in a pair of sweatpants. It was like, oh, that can only be one thing. It was like a velour boa constrictor ate a baby. And so then my wife doubles back, and I would describe her gait as the way you would walk if you had a wet grocery bag full of oranges, like, okay, where would love to find a place to put this down, if there was anywhere to put this down. And we basically had two choices of where to go at that point. We could either get back on the elevator or go to the lobby. Terrible options if what you want is a hospital. Neither of those are even close to a hospital. That would be like if you said to someone, "Hey, do you have an iPhone charger I can borrow?" And they said, "No, but I have a grapefruit and a sombrero." You would say, just fucking say no. So my wife chooses lobby, and my wife goes down and she lies on her back in the lobby, and I cannot stress to you how quickly she gave birth to our son. I was on the phone with 911, and this was the extent of my conversation with 911. We're about to have a baby, we're having a baby, we had a baby. And let me tell you, it is very strange to be on a 911 call that ends with the operator saying, "Congratulations!" Almost never happens. Almost unheard of. You might be saying to yourself, "Seth, you just told us that you watched the birth of your first child from a vantage point wherein you might actually have learned something that would be helpful in the birth of your second child. Hopefully you're about to tell us how helpful you were." Sadly, I am not. I stood with my back against the wall, mouth agape, as my wife Lion King'd her own baby.